the team with just the best raw mechanical skill, best team coordination, and yeah, not surprising they would go for the old classic as their home map, which we will be getting into right now. So, spawning in the north...
We would, but my game's crashed.
Oh, never mind.
Let's go back. Nothing to see here.
Are we going back? Or
No, you guys stay in, I think. I go back.
Yeah, we just stay in, wait for Zach to come back, and when he is ready, we will just do the player intro. AM won the last series and is waiting for the winner of the series Secret against Suomi. Yeah, should be an interesting series. First time, at least I am seeing Arabia here, the home map of Secret. So they have to be confident. Probably the most played map in all Age of Empires, and pure skill. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's just all about that pure skill. And just as a, I guess, recap, these two teams did face each other twice, I believe, in Battle of Africa, which was kind of the last, big team game tournament. And Secret won, I believe, both times 3-2. So, yeah, also after being behind.
Yes, right? I believe that is correct.
We're in.
Hopefully Zap's okay, so Zach's loaded into the game, so we can introduce the players finally.
Left-hand side, DauT Borstil. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, didn't even see that. So that's going to be a nice little start there for DauT. And speaking of which, our Lord and Savior Grass DauT will be in the purple as the Mayans on the left flank. His pocket will be the Viper in his trademark yellow as the Franks. And the right-hand player will be TaToH in the red as the Mongols, and I hear a boar steal, and it will be because Villese is stealing the boar of TaToH, which is never something you want as a Mongol player. And speaking of Villese, he'll be our green mine player in the right flank. Pocket will be TheMax in his cyan as a Paladin Civ in the Franks. And finally, Zuppi, the blue Ethiopians on the left side.
Okay, sorry, I just confused myself. Okay, so actually looks quite solid, right? Franks, both pocket, and we have kind of the archer civilizations at the flank. It feels like TaToH with Mongols. Will he also go for archers here, or will he try to play scouts? That's kind of the thing that we need to take the closest look at. It feels like the Suomi players will just go archers flank, scouts pocket.
Yeah, remember when I said that these two teams like to play standard meta stuff? That is almost certainly what we're going to be seeing right here. Although TaToH being down a boar, that is not what you want as Mongols, who, of course, more than any other Civ benefit from having those extra boar. And yeah, we'll be able to lure some deer, but this is potentially going to hamper the big advantage of Mongols in the early game, which is the lightning fast up times they can have. So this is already not that great for Secret.
For deer to push, kind of close to TC though, so he will still be able to do a pop 21 or something. TaToH, is he spotting his two sheep there? Oh boy! This is another Zero Empires. Go into the point of view of TaToH and click in Fog of War in and out. Searcheroo game.
Oh, feels Ornlu, man. That's all I got to say about that. I mean...
Oh, it gets closer, but still doesn't see it. Okay,
oh my... Are you kidding me? Okay, he's got it. He sees him. There was a second where it was like the exact two tiles that the sheep were located. TaToH didn't see, but he's got it. He at least knows where the sheep are. Of course, it will prioritize the deer, but he can pick up the sheep in due course. And as players are hitting the 21 pop mark, I assume that yes, Max and Viper both going to be clicking up. I would not be surprised at all to see the good old scout war from these guys.
Yeah, it has to be scouts. So important in 3-3. You kind of lose so much momentum if one of your flanks is not really getting the scout support. We see DauT and Zuppi left-hand side up as well. And TaToH is now following. The only player missing for now is Mr. Villese, who is clicking up here as well. And very mirror matchy this far. Nothing else we expected from two teams so close to each other in skill.
Oh yeah, certainly. And, you know, as we are waiting for everyone to get on up to feudal age, don't even think we're seeing any men-at-arm aggression. Nili, what do you favor, as this is, you know, a mirror matchup in Franks and Mayans? What do you think of Ethiopians versus Mongols as to what they bring to the table?
Well, Ethiopians versus Mongols aren't really facing each other, right? It is Mongols against Mayans, and this might get tricky. I think Secret took kind of the safer approach with Mongols, because then you have two potential pocket civilizations. On the other side, the Finns, they kind of needed Franks at the pocket. Otherwise, they'd always be in a deficit when it comes to, positioning. So, safer approach, but small disadvantage here with Mongols. TaToH will just play normal archers as well and might fall behind in numbers against Villese.
Yeah, definitely. Mayans, of course, very strong with the good old flush, cheaper archers, good economy, all that normal stuff. And it's going to be pretty hard for Mongols on the flank to really comfortably get up to, you know, the late game Mangudai Deathball, where they are at their strongest. Meanwhile, Ethiopians can compete with Mayans in the early archer war much better, and have a much more even power spike throughout the game, like the Mayans do.
Yeah, that's true. Mayans, mass crossbowman, Mangudai is what you said. It is kind of a tricky scenario, right? You might have a lot of losses before that, really need to get on to your numbers, need to be safe, need to control your stone, which is nicely positioned for TaToH in the back. But that's more of a very long-term plan. We will see a lot more kills before we see Mangudais.
Oh yes, definitely. Although we do have to remember that Ethiopians might not have the greatest answer to plumed archers. Might be a bit of a problem for Zuppi if DauT gets to that point. But I mean, it's going to be a little while before we get there, and kind of interesting archery range positions for Zuppi, don't you think? Kind of random.
For Zuppi, well, I felt the archery ranges were random for DauT. Yeah, Zuppi, well, just to build them quickly. Later on, he can wall a bit more, walled everything to the edge of the map. So, yeah, that's how the Finns are, liking it. Villager count, pretty much dead even here for everyone.
Yep. Nothing too crazy happening. Only a couple deaths of scouts here and there. You have Viper chasing TheMax back to his team's base, but nothing too crazy going on. We do see the beginnings of team walls, I think, starting to be established by both teams.
Somewhat of a big fight in the center of the map. Viper against TheMax here, both trying to micro a bit. Feels like TheMax might have one better number, but Viper took a bit of a better fight to begin with. I think TheMax is winning this one.
It's hard to tell. I think Viper's winning it.
I think I'm really far ahead of you guys. Can you do a time check?
I'm at 1420.
Okay, weird. We should be synced up. Okay, I'm a little bit ahead.
Oh.
1440?
I can't do anything. Just carry on.
Okay. Well, looks like TheMax will be able to, well, never mind. Viper taking about as good engagement as you can. You can see in the kill-death ratio, Viper little ways ahead of TheMax in that regard.
That's weird, because both are going for the exact same unit, right? Frank's pocket there, and now TaToH is coming in the center as well, and Villese is heavily out of position, so they might push the center quite nicely here. At the moment, TheMax nicely walled, but that will be some aggression knocking at his door pretty quickly. Zuppi now coming over to help though, and TaToH, he will not have the numbers.
Yeah, maybe Zuppi can get the engagement off there. But nice micro from TaToH so far. Also throwing a scout in the mix just to draw a bit of arrow fire, so it's 2 archers down for just 1 scout. But now we got...
Look at that, all 6 players on the same screen. That's what we want to see in a 3v3 team game here. But Zuppi taking heavy losses. Better team play by the secret players. You don't want to be at the same screen. You actually want to kiss each other when it comes to taking engagements. And, well, Team Secret just playing... This a bit more compact. Beautiful team play.
Yep. Can't really say it any better than that. It's, like we said, it's these two teams really liking focusing on the team play, just the raw mechanical aspect of it, rather than like the crazy wonky strategic aspect of it, like the Chinese teams do. And really, just beautiful execution there from Secret, which is what we expect from them. I mean, Viper and DauT both with excellent kill-death ratios, Max and Zuppi not so much, and now Zuppi is going to be on the defensive as we have lots of Secret units pouring down his base.
Let's see, he's sitting behind a bit of walls, but not having the greatest archer numbers, losing one even. His teammates, they're still 1.5 screens away. We might see a move in against Zuppi, will have some houses behind us. I think he will be kind of fine.
Yeah, I think, like you're saying, the houses will prevent Secret from actually like diving in, and that would just kind of be a bit of a death trap because you'd have no way of escaping, and the faster reinforcements of your opponent would likely crush your army. But see who can take the hill right here. Looks like it will be DauT, but Villese has the greater numbers of archers. This is probably going to be a fairly even fight. Viper coming in with the scouts, though. Where's TaToH?
Yeah, TaToH is just running away. It was never an even fight. It was Zuppi and Villese just getting onto the high numbers. The thing is that, well, DauT got completely crushed there on the hill. Is now pulling back with all his archers. They need to go back and lick their wounds. At the same time, Viper is adding a second stable, and it looks like 5 players on the way to Castle Age. Only Zuppi was missing, but now he clicked up as well. Pretty similar timing when it comes to Castle Age by all the players as well.
Yep, definitely. And I think that the Finnish guys were able to take that fight just because it was so hard for TaToH to ever reinforce his teammates' army, as Zuppi is literally on the opposite side of the map, and archers being very slow, not going to be able to reinforce his teammate as anywhere nearly as easily as the Suomi guys. Now, everyone getting to the Castle Age, likely going to be seeing knights, crossbows, and booming.
Yeah, I just checked all the flanks are going for more crossbows here at 21 minutes 10 seconds, and well, both pockets adding their knights as well, adding extra TCs. Very mirror matchup for now. Villager counts looking pretty even as well. Eye on eye game.
Yeah, definitely. I guess the difference is that TaToH is kind of off on his lonesome on the right side, as Viper and DauT have a team wall. Meanwhile, all of the Finnish guys seem to be doing their own thing as far as walling goes. And yeah, probably not going to be anything too crazy as far as I can tell. No sort of, castle drop or anything like that for the Mayan players yet, as far as I can tell. And just University coming in for TaToH for ballistics.
Oh yeah, and he has nice numbers there as well. 23 military for him. Overall, pretty even. And now we are pushing back Villese, who's trying to rush out the university as well. And that will be a lot of knights trying to take this frontal area down. At the same time, DauT is moving out, trying to attack Zuppi. I have no idea where he is camping. Okay, he's camping very far back at home. So will be 2v2 in Villese phase. Let's take a look how he can defend this.
Yep, you have TaToH taking a pretty nice position on this little bit of a hill. Villese does have one more armor than does TaToH, but TaToH, at least sensibly having some really good numbers right here, is even going to have Thumb Ring as well. So both ballistics and Thumb Ring are going to be in here for TaToH before Villese, and should be nice if a fight happens, but I don't even know if a fight's going to happen, as both teams are, at least for right now, possibly retreating.
Oh, he was just waiting for ballistics, now moving in. The other side was DauT, even out microing Zuppi a bit here, so nice move for him. Has a bit of a better KD now, and oh, the Finns are split off, but Secret feels like they're not having the numbers and they are retreating.
Yeah, I think Secret doesn't have the numbers right there, so I think it would, well, maybe they're just trying to posture, but I think that Villese can take this hill, and with the faster reinforcement points as well, should be pretty good for Suomi, although TaToH did get some nice little snipes with his crossbows.
Well, the big question is now, when are the pockets transitioning into more stables? Might be really game decisive here. It feels like Villese and TaToH, they aren't really getting killed, just camping on hills, moving forward, going back, and yeah,
it's
more knights could be
pretty even. DauT getting ballistics and thumbering himself, all that sort of good stuff. I really like what TaToH's been doing with his crossbows, though. I think he's really had excellent micro, just doing a great job picking off any sort of straggler unit, whether that be crossbow or villager, and that is reflected in his 16 to 6 KD. So, you know, little thing, but, you know, these little things can add up when the games are so close.
He's so good, man. And now pulling some crossbows away, always tries to engage with the whole group against some maybe at the front. And that's really tricky. Villese is patrolling. He's doing an okay job. Maybe not taking care at all spots. And DauT now moving out into dangerous territory.
DauT got going deep into the base near the Max. I mean, the Max is currently out of position. He will obviously realize that the crossbows are coming, and the Max as well will probably have plenty of time to get his knights back home, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. And I feel like DauT might get a little bit smashed here.
But in the center, Viper's getting caught off guard. He wanted to come over to DauT, and he is taking quite a lot of losses. Lost like one knight and a lot of HP here, but now is back together with DauT. TaToH is trying to come over there as well. And we might see our next 3v3 center fight.
Yeah, this is going to be a really big fight if indeed it does happen. But, you know, I feel like just the actual fight engagement is just a little bit cleaner for Suomi right now. But right now we have the Max running into the jaws of about 1 million crossbowmen. Zuppi a little bit lagging behind. I mean, this is a really even fight. Let's see how it goes.
Oh man, army compositions look so similar. Lovely stuff. It should be a bit better for the Finns here. They have faster shooting on the crossbowmen. TaToH not really having any advantages for his units. Rest should be virtually identical.
Yeah, also even the upgrades are the exact same, with the two left-hand flanks having +2 armor and the two right-hand flanks not having it. That's, of course, cavalry up. Actually, no, Viper is one attack upgrade behind the Max, but that's not really that big of a deal, and Viper even going ahead and grabbing Forging right now.
Now they're losing quite a bit, the Team Secret guys. Let's take a look. Villager count in the meanwhile. It looks a bit better even for the Finns here. The Max playing extremely strong. Viper now is getting some more knights in. Are they trying to take this engagement once they have this hill?
I mean, I don't think that Suomi can push into this hill. I think that would be a big mistake. And, Zuppi's got to be pretty careful. He doesn't want to be caught out of position. But looks like we will see Suomi at least for the second disengaging. Don't really know if they should try and force that. But I think overall, if you're Suomi, you can be pretty happy with how that went, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it was pretty even. Slight advantage for Suomi, maybe. Viper trying to catch some crossbows off guard, gets 2, loses 1 scout, nothing too big. Now it all comes down to camping the hills, and 2 gets up to Imperial Age first, and look at that. DauT.
DauT, the power of DauT. Going to be getting up to the Imperial Age, not even focusing on the plumed archers. I mean, he has villagers on stone right now, but it's probably just going to be arbalests in the short run. And, you know, obviously that could do work, as just one player having Arbalest and Bracer would be enough to turn the tide of this very evenly matched battle.
But the other main players clicking up now as well. DauT 10 more villagers there. Villese added 3 archer range a bit before DauT. And yeah, that is reflecting in the uptime. And you said DauT, he's not going for plumes. Well, Villese, he is building a castle.
Yeah, so there's going to be this period where Villese is making the transition over to plumed archers, and, you know, subsequently he will not have as large an army because, well, he's switching over to plumed archers, and you're very limited in terms of production with only 1 castle. So this could provide a bit of an opportunity for Secret to, you know, get some damage done, especially if you're going over, like, say, towards the base of Zuppi, which is not defended with a castle. I think that could be potentially good for them, but we'll have to see, as pretty much everyone else is getting up to the Imperial Age at this point.
Oh man, and you know that a lot of people are enjoying like scrappy, wild games, unpredictable stuff happening. For me, it's those games that really give me goosebumps. It's like perfect meta, everyone is doing the exact thing that's like kind of optimal, not really reacting, but just playing the perfect, just textbook Age of Empires and see who plays it better. Beautiful.
Oh yeah, and I definitely agree. I think that there is a lot to be enjoyed in, like, both types of games, like the crazy games and the very sort of standard games, for lack of a better word. But I feel like with all the crazy games on Bedouins and Dry River we've been seeing, just a good old-fashioned Arabia 3v3, this is definitely a joy to watch.
96 villagers for every secret player at the moment.
Team 96.
And well, that actually is interesting because the max is 30 ahead then. Slightly disadvantage for Villese, but not too important. Most important thing is now the Arbalest count here for DauT, who's getting quite a lot of kills. Nice job by him.
Yeah, DauT has a very large army of Arbalests. Like I was saying, the transition into Plumed Archers does mean that in the short run, your army count is going to be a little bit lower. And yeah, just having Arbalest and now all the attack upgrades, it really means it's going to be tricky for Suomi to actually take this engagement. Also, the Viper, for what it's worth, has the Chivalry upgrade, meaning that these Cavaliers are going to fly out of his stable, and even just getting the Cavalier upgrade is going to be a lot faster. So we're going to see if maybe Secret can use this advantage to get some damage in.
Yeah, not even the Cavalier, but also the Paladin upgrade is just getting so much faster as well. He's now going to the left-hand side. The Max is trying to chase this down. And Viper, with the early upgrade for now, will get some villager kills here for sure. You see Zuppi trying to get some house walls up. Will get tricky, though, against that amount.
Mangonel's coming in. Might be,
big fight against DauT at the top.
Oh, yeah, is it DauT Micro? The power of DauT Micro? It doesn't matter. The power of Zuppi's Ethiopian Arbalests just mowing down DauT's army, even though they were missing a couple upgrades. Just having the better numbers and of course the faster fire rate is just so strong. But now Viper trying to come in with his Cavalier, but with the Max reinforce his teammate. Is this going to be a fantastic trade for Viper? No, he will be running away.
Yeah, but at the same time, he did so much damage to the eco of Zuppi, killing more than 15 villagers here. Yeah, the Viper is losing some, and the Max is taking to Paladins, but that was still quite a kill against the eco of Zuppi.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you can be very happy with that if you're Viper. I think it's okay to trade some amount of military for, a relatively proportionate amount of economy at this point in the game, just because everyone is working with, a decent-sized army, and it should be pretty tricky to actually push into your opponent. DauT now making the switch over to Elite Plumed Archers. Unfortunately, his Obsidian Arrows upgrade not going to really matter much to the disappointment of Twitch chat, I'm sure.
Yeah, no masterpiece here. And, well, he will just play Elite Plumed Archers. Should be a nice composition there. Maybe Zuppi in the long run can get into some siege and do some wonders at the left-hand side. And we also want to see when TaToH is able to transition into Elite Mangodites, has to cast it up and start the production. Now we get into the phase to ask ourselves who gets the better trade rolling.
Yeah, of course, that's going to be a pretty important factor. Incredibly important factor, rather. But, well, the Max has Paladin complete, Viper does not, and so Viper is going to be on the retreat for the time being. But of course, as we were saying, Viper did end up trading some Cavalier to get damage done onto Zuppi's eco, but, well, that means he doesn't have as many Paladins as his Cyan counterpart, and if Zuppi can, if the Max can force an engagement here, rather, it could be really tricky for Viper, as Paladin is a little ways from done just yet.
Look at the overall population here. The Max basically pop limit against the Viper, who's struggling to get even to pop 150, and now we're taking a fight Cavalier against Paladins here. The TC won't really help that much. It's looking really good for the Max.
Yeah, Viper able to complete Paladin, but to what end? You're down to like half the army count of your opponent. Though it looks like with the faster reinforcements, like, guys, Chivalry is a good upgrade. Get that upgrade if you're Franks. It allowed Viper to power through the Paladin upgrade, which is a very slow research time, and is really allowed him to get all the necessary Paladins he's needed to support his own base. But on the flip side, DauT is going to be losing castles, which is not what you want if you're relying on your unique unit.
Oh boy, absolutely not. You don't need that many if you are Malians, but 3, 4 is, yeah, absolutely needed. And, well, now he's going down to 2, and that leaves one of his gold spots at the left-hand side, super exposed as well.
Oh yeah, this is, I think, really looking good for Suomi right now. Really just, I think, showing their class in terms of late-game mechanical skill. I mean, DauT's kind of on the run. Yes, he has elite plumed archers, which are going to deal well with the arbalests, but that's just so many paladins from the max, working with over a 2-to-1 KD right now. TaToH nearly fully upgraded elite Mangudai, but again, it's a very slow transition, and TaToH's arbalests are not fully upgraded as they don't get the last armor upgrade, so this is looking pretty tricky here for Team Secret.
Yeah, and Arbalest, they're really losing in value. What do you want to face, really? Elite plumed archers? No. Paladins? No. Arbalest on the other side of Ethiopians? Neither. So, TaToH's Arbalests, yeah, they're nice, giving him close to pop 200, but they aren't really the units he wants to have in the long run.
And the max is getting bearded axe. It's time for throwing axeman, maybe? Not sure why, but...
What? No. No one is going for throwing X-Men, right?
That would be rather strange if he did, considering their throwing X-Men are terrible against every single unit Secret's making. But regardless, Suomi seems to be doing another, or still continuing to do an excellent job pushing, and we see DauT down to only the one castle for elite plumed archer production.
And is he getting stone anywhere? One of his stone spots is at the front, where Zuppi is pulling another castle. And while we might see the big engagement, TaToH, where is he going with all his Mangudais? Where are they? Didn't you
they are currently running across the front of Viper towards DauT, but this might just
castle at the left-hand side.
Late.
Okay, what does DauT need to do now? Does he need to transition back into Arbalest? Looks like it. He is producing Arbalest again, which is okay-ish, but not the greatest thing. Paladin numbers for the max, so much better as well here. Is Suomi going for the kill?
I think they are, and I think that it's really not... Yeah, I don't think Secret can really do a whole lot at this point. There's still tons of Arbalests and Plumed Archers in the back lines for Team Suomi, and just not really the elite Mangudai numbers I think that TaToH needs at this point, as again, they are just such a slow unit to transition to. And I think that this should be some pretty easy cleanup work for Team Suomi.
Yeah, Plumed Archers going back, and while going back he loses more and more. Just Ethiopian Arbalest, they are chasing down so beautifully here. Villese is helping out, and that's just the story of this game. How beautifully all the players really working together with their teammates and taking great 2v3 fights.
Yeah, it's just been... This has just been such a great game to watch and cast. It's just... Every single player in this game is such a high level, but it's just these little, decisions, little bit of a, maybe slightly better macro from the max compared to Viper, just really sealing the deal and ultimately will likely give Suomi the W this game, as all three of their players are chilling at around 200 population. No one on Secret is, that close to getting there themselves. DauT's base is currently being leveled by siege rams, and yeah, currently nothing to stop the onslaught of Suomi.
Oh man, TaToH, he's getting onto siege engineers, prepares a lot of rams here, will make a big go against Villese. Maybe that can give him some breathing room, but at the same time, DauT, he is the one who needs way more help, but the max, he is just pushing there, building more stables in the center, and they are going for the kill. 60 paladins for the max, 90 military for Zuppi, and 70 for Villese. That's just massive.
That is a lot of large armies for Team Suomi, though it's kind of killing me a little bit inside that Zuppi doesn't have the last armor upgrade, but regardless, that is still, 90 military. Ethiopians, super scary late game civ, seeing, torsion engines come in for Zuppi, and oh boy, can torsion engine siege rams flatten a lot of buildings.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, let's take a look. Do we have another engagement at the left-hand side? It just feels like TaToH is trying to come over with Mangudites and then take a fight with the Viper, but the Max now going for some raids over and over again. DauT dropping below 100 pop. This seems over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like, obviously it's not as much of a, super long back and forth slugfest of the game, but this does kind of remind me of that game between AM and Suomi on Serengeti that was so excellent, where it's just the sheer power of Suomi in this sort of, late game decision-making, team coordination situations. Just, they really know how to play the late game, and this is obviously just playing to their strengths.
Yeah, but the big difference there was that both teams had a fully set up trade. That's something we cannot say for Team Secret, as we can see overall numbers below 50 here when it comes to trade cards, and that's just not the scenario we want to be at the 52-minute mark in a game.
Definitely not. We're seeing Team Suomi with maybe 50% more trade cards than Secret right now, and that is just a game-winning difference. I think is pretty safe to say. Viper trying some fancy gate shenanigans to lock in Vilese's Elite Plumed Archers, but not being particularly successful in doing so. TaToH making a brave last stand on this hill, but I think with just all of the units here for Suomi, they're not going to be getting pushed back anytime soon.
Oh, how can they? Left-hand side, well, DauT is onto okayish numbers now with 46 military, but all of a sudden, TheViper only at 12 military himself, losing more and more. Still beautiful hill control, more paladins coming in. This is the final push that cannot be stopped.
Yeah, there's no way to stop this, really, as far as I can see. I mean, they can try.
Look at the Max castle there in the base of Viper. Well, the armies, that castle might even go up. They could push for the trade and end the game here. I think they will and will end the game. Yeah, it is TaToH sending some stuff over the Viper as well, but not much they can do. GG.
GG. Nilly, if that castle from Max is anything, that is what I would call a get out my game castle.
Yeah.
And indeed, we did see Secret get out the game.
Yeah, so it did what it was supposed to. And at the same time, TaToH was going for the ram go, but a little too late to really stop the Plumed Archer production there. And Onu, I think I will watch this game 6 more times.
I know, I'm going to watch it again.
This is just, we are casters and are supposed to overhype situations sometimes, but this is probably one of the highest level plays we have ever seen, because it was so meta, so standard, so clean when it came to us seeing what happened, and still Suomi took an advantage against potentially the best team in the world. I really want to see through every single step of this game several times again.
I feel like I need to watch it. Okay, I'm going to watch it from Zuppi's POV, and I'm going to watch it from Max's POV. Just to see exactly how it was that really we just saw, Suomi play just that, 5% better. That just makes all the difference at this level.
I think actually something I saw quite early on was Secret playing so cautiously. When we saw the 2 groups of crossbows in the south, and TaToH and Viper had the crossbows and knights, and TaToH was picking off crossbows from Villese one after another. And they, at that point, I felt like Secret were getting that small edge, They kept making these really good little trades, getting just this 1 or 2 additional unit kills every engagement. But Max, man, I mean, it all snowballed out of control early imp, right? Max just absolutely did the damage with those Cavalier and Paladins.
Yeah, sick. Viper was raiding Zuppi, and at the same time got some raid in his own, and untypically late start of trade from the Viper as well.
Yeah, I feel like Secret made the mistake that I feel like Suomi often makes, where they were just, like Zach was saying, a little too passive, a little too cautious, not really making bold decisions in terms of taking military engagements or going for greedy economic plays. And usually with Secret it's the super greedy economic plays, but we didn't even really see that from Secret. They just kind of did a normal thing, and you did see Suomi able to take those small advantages to victory.
They definitely did a thing. All right, well, Suomi get that first victory there in this best of 3. Could this be the upset? Obviously, game 2 will decide that, as we'll be going into that in a minute. Looking at the stats then, real quick. Wow, DauT.
Wow, DauT. Well, in the end, it's 100 villagers dying, Arbalest against Paladins fighting off. So it kind of makes sense. 10 minutes before that, the KD was probably more 100 to 100.
Yeah, probably more maybe 100 to 200, well, 160 to 200, let's say. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Sorry.
There we go. Wait, but if you're still in the achievements, take a look at the gold income from TheMax. He had, what, around 10k to 11k more gold than every other player in this game. A lot of that coming off the back of trade. That's just bonkers. It's a lot of paladins.
Yeah, that was a big problem there. DauT even slinging Viper some. And yeah, it just felt like Viper, he's normally one of the early guys to start trade. Didn't really go for that this game. Kind of questionable.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm excited for game number 2. I don't know if you are, Nilly. I assume you are.
Obviously, especially like Dry River and Secret trained some with Heresy before that. So I'm curious what strategy Secret will go for as well.
Ooh, insider knowledge.
Yeah, good stuff. So just to address real quick the sync thing, I realized we were out of sync at the start. I don't know why that was, because we're group specking, which means we are we should be in sync. So apologies for that. It seemed to straighten itself out by the end. But we have no control over the game speed once we're in, because it's all done in sync with the host. So if we're out of sync, let us know. We'll try and fix it as soon as possible, but it should not be an ongoing issue. It's a little bit of a mystery as to why it was there. But anyway, Nilly will be right back, and we'll have our Dry River game coming up next. Looking forward to that one, because as we just saw, both teams played very meta, very standard. But Dry River is not a map that really has such a thing as meta or standard, because, well, it's kind of new. And what do you mean it kind of does? Do they sling? Do they not sling? Like, there's a lot of non-standard stuff that you can do on this map.
Do you throw in all of your resources into supporting your Indian player? If not, you're probably going to lose. So you should probably do that.
Do you build 5 or 6 TCs in the middle of the map on the lakes?
Probably only the 3 were necessary.
So we'll get Nilly. Let us know when you're back, Nilly, and we can continue.
But yeah, I think this map is really interesting for team games, and we've seen a lot of really cool games on this map. I just like the whole, you're forced into the middle of the map because of all the shorefish, but then the rush distances are super long. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm sorry, I was just getting messages as well. But yeah, the rush distances between everyone is even, so it's not that traditional layout where the pocket player's further back and has a little bit more time. They all gotta make the plays. I'd be interested to see if either of them come to the game with a different strat, or if they do play standard again. Time will tell. We'll be into the next game in just a moment. Also, just a reminder to you, Ornlu and Nilly, if you can hear me, if we are out of sync at any point, just fast forward as much as you can, and we should be at the same point in the game.
I tried to, but
I
couldn't
tried
catch
to
up
as well, but I ran into a wall.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
if we're all at the wall, then that's the best we can do. Obviously, the game runs different depending on the speed of your PC, which is, kind of weird, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, but why can't you pause some?
I can't. It doesn't. I literally cannot.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It speeds up to the limit.
Yeah, I think because Zach joined the game late, didn't he?
It might have been to do with me, having the issue at the start.
Yeah.
And then you're faster?
No idea, man.
Like, because when we're watching the Rex, we're like a little bit behind the time of Robo, who's, running the Rec. But I think Zach actually caught up to the time that Robo was at, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. That probably was it. So hopefully my game doesn't crash as we start into the next game. It's kind of weird why it crashes randomly. Like, it's like 50-50 whether it crashes or not. Just seems to be, when we install all these mods and we have all this stuff running, it does add a level of uncertainty to the whole thing. But let's see. We're going in game now for game number 2, and hopefully it's going to work.
Hopefully.
It worked. Fantastic.
Worked for me too. Awesome. So, without further ado, getting into game number 2 between Suomi and Secret. Suomi, of course, winning the last game in a, just totally amazingly well played game number 1 on Arabia. Secret looking to take this back. We are with the Viper on the right flank for Team Secret in the yellow as the Indians. The pocket, for what it's worth, will be TaToH in the red as the Saracens. and the north flank will be DauT. In the purple is the Huns. For Team Suomi, in the far left flank, in the cyan as the Indians will be the TheMax. Pocket will be Villese in the green as the Huns. And finally, joining the party in the gray as the Saracens is Rubenstock. Nilly, tell me how much sling is going to be happening.
It is tricky to say, right? It feels like Saracens is kind of the sling civilization, and Rubenstock and TaToH are typically the slingers. So, or traditionally in those teams. We see a lot of looming early on here. So, yeah, overall, that's not the ideal start. You kind of want to avoid looming, but, well, sometimes you are forced into it because distance towards the water will be too long. And, well, to answer your question, I think they will start with some army and only then transition into sling. I think the heresy approach with directly into sling is something those teams normally don't go for.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think maybe we're going to be seeing the scouts into sling. I think that's probably perhaps the most likely scenario. But I think an eventual sling onto both Indian players. I mean, the Max and the Viper, the players, are kind of like the the traditional like carry players, quote unquote, for their team, and definitely two players that can make a lot of magic happen with a ton of extra resources and Indian camels.
Yeah, and the Max against Viper, that's the matchup we want to see, right? Those are the big heavy hitters from both teams, and DauT, with quite of an early X there at one of his wood lines. It kind of indicates a potential team wall to me. So I'm curious if Team Secret is maybe just trying to wall all this off. When I saw the map for the very first time, I felt an overall team wall might be pretty strong on this one. You need to go for army though.
Yeah, you do need to go for army. I mean, this map is open enough that it takes a lot of effort to actually get the team wall off and running. I mean, really, it's going to take a good long while unless you're like CL or something. But for anyone else, it's probably not something you can do in like the Dark Age to early Feudal Age. So I think it's going to be all about that early aggression in the Feudal Age with scouts, with archers, stuff like we've seen before today.
Yeah, just your villages are just so much in the open, can get raided. We have seen that before. Baek-T couldn't really defend too well against the early scouts of Nikov there, over and over getting raided. So yeah, early aggression, absolutely the number of the game. And we see Heresy, I'm even saying, Team Secret, they are kind of ignoring the center a bit more, and now the team wall is indeed starting. TaToH the only one going for some elephants on the other side. We see Villese and Rubenstock going for elephants.
That is a quick uptime from TaToH as the not Indian player. Like 19 pop is not Indians on this map is pretty swift. So I think it's likely for scouts. I mean, I think that's really the only possible option here for TaToH.
Viper is adding more villagers. This is Fast Castle.
Yes, it is. That's definitely...
It has to be.
There's nothing else makes sense. This is going to be interesting. I mean, the Viper is kind of the king of greed, right? So we'll see if he can pull this off without dying. But
oh, this will be interesting.
Yeah. Something I'm actually interested about with both of these Mirror Civ lineups, do you feel like Huns kind of feel a little out of place? Like, yeah, they're really good on Dry River, but they're just so bad against Indians. It's like the Huns aren't going to be doing the sling, the Saracens are, right? So it's like, what do the Huns do against camels?
CA, crossbow, it's still somewhat fine. You just have such a good start with Huns that you kind of accept to maybe not have the greatest unit in the long run, but still have the option to, well, have the advantage early and all the map control. And if you push your opponent so far back at early Feudal Age, you can then get into transitions and, well, just buy your teammates some more time.
Yeah, of course. It's just, I think, an interesting sort of dichotomy between Huns being so good in like the early game, but then kind of dropping off in the mid-castle age, at least in this sort of situation. But anyway, Viper clicking up 23 pop, but with how quickly you gather food on this map, I mean, if you see Viper's POV, he's already at 600 food in the bank. He'll be able to get to the castle age quite quickly.
Well, he's lacking wood. This build order isn't completely figured out.
Oh yeah,
You're
right.
He will need to wait for buildings. That's pretty low here. Only 7 on wood. Not a single village on stragglers. This isn't that sharp.
No, it's not actually.
And look at TheMax. He's already up to castle age. You see the thing from Rubenstock.
10:04.
They are playing the same strategy as Heresy did.
Yes, because Rubenstock was slinging as saw like the second he hit the feudal age. So, same strat as Heresy. And we're going to see if the Max can unleash the power of the camel. Was the 10:04 castle age time as faster than any of yours that you did? What was your fastest castle age time?
Well, he's arriving at 12:44, and we had like 12:20s or something. We did 12:50 in our game against Frantic, so this is absolutely top level. And yeah, you can do it a bit faster in the lab, but under like the normal lag sometimes as well, or other conditions. This is still spot on.
Yeah, obviously. Very clean opening from Team Suomi. I mean, it's kind of what both of these teams are known for. And actually, we see, the Max, he did make some scouts. It's not like he just went like right in the castle age with no military. So he has a few scouts running around, not going to be doing a whole lot. DauT, meanwhile, going for, I guess you could say, like a more standard, quote-unquote, scout opening, with plenty of scouts, but not a quick castle age time.
Onlu. Mwah, mwah. Look at Rubenstock. He is not going on to gold. He's going on stone, selling stone in the market because it's higher than gold, and then slinging over.
Oh yeah,
this is a strategy. Like in the old days, in like 2001, when you monk rushed with Saracens, you also went only for stone.
Yeah, you sell the stone, and then you get that's more efficient than gathering gold, right?
It's the same speed, but you just get better market prices for Saracens.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is so beautiful.
That's there you go. That's your DM partner right there, showing the strats.
Yeah, and now when the prices are getting lower, you transition into gold, and that's what he's doing. Oh, exactly. Beautiful, my boy.
There you go. But awesome strats aside, the Max is losing some villagers over at the gold. DauT, with the forging upgrade, able to just tear through those villagers. Man, did I learn the value of forging on scouts once Magyars were added to the game. Oh, and the Max not closing the hole in the wall of the villagers on the lumber camp, and that's not what you want.
Well, he's getting some kills against TaToH in the center. In the meanwhile, who couldn't really defend properly. They're not pulling the villagers away either. So heavy losses in the back of the Max and at the front for TaToH. It's now time for the Viper to really carry here. All eyes on him.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, at least in my opinion, TaToH losing some villagers is nowhere near as bad as the Max losing some villagers, because the Max, I mean, he's the carry player in this situation, right? He's being slung, he's playing Indians like the power civ on this map, and he's only at 25 villagers right now. That's not particularly ideal. I mean, he is being slung, so it's likely that he'll still be able to maintain at least fairly good camel production, but I feel like this might give Viper a pretty nice opportunity to catch up militarily.
Yeah, he indeed, he is just camping, and well, he's getting 100% of his resources, right? Rubenstock, he has to pay some fee to give it over to the Max, so that's going to be tricky. And Viper, he's already adding TC number 3, something we do not see from the Max. He's only stuck at 2 and might be housed pretty soon.
Ooh, this is not the Max I know. Hashtag not my Max. But yeah, it's I think potentially going to be a little bit rough, but I think something that is definitely important to consider right now is that the army count for Suomi is way ahead of that of Secret. So
is it that important? Archers? Well, he's getting to Castle Age, so yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, the
thing is, I believe DauT, he's transitioning into CA, is he?
Knowing DauT, I feel like he would, but he has 1 archery range. Huh?
Second one, yeah, it will be CA.
Okay, yeah. So I think that makes more sense. It's just a better unit in the long run for Huns. And I think that because Dry River is so open, you know, you're running all back and forth across the riverbed. I think that just units with higher mobility are just, you know, exponentially more valuable in this situation.
Yeah. CA are just so much better here, and well, that's what you go for with Hans, right? And he is doing exactly that. Thing is, if you go on to CA, having all those villagers at Shorefish isn't really helping you that much.
That is true, but the other option would be going knights into Indian camels. And I think Hart proved in the AM series that that is not a good idea.
Yeah. The other option is to go for double sling onto...
Oh man, are we playing, was it Golden Hill, where we saw stuff like that back in like Nations Cup? Where like double sling the Aztec player?
Well, we also had it in the qualifier stage of ECL, where we had it on Gold Rush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
But well, Nations Cup was all about slinging for sure, and a lot of KOTD, but well, let's see. We might be just seconds away from a big engagement, Viper against the world.
It is Viper against the world. We see our green player Villese trying to get a good engagement onto the hill, and will the supporting fire of the crossbows be enough to turn the tide? Maybe? Looks like it will be. Upgrade's dead even between Viper and the Max, but no, Viper... Well, crossbows are still alive, and that's a big problem for Viper.
And he's trying to continue to shoo away, but well, he will lose everything. Now needs to go back with his crossman. 2-3 more camels could have won him the fight there, and suddenly the Viper with a negative KD. Beautiful move here by Villese, nice positioning, did get some more crossmen at a perfect timing, and this looks pretty solid all of a sudden. Just important that Rubenstock is not taking any losses at home.
Yeah, definitely. We do see both Hun players switching into CA at this point. DauT obviously did so way sooner, not really investing into the Feudal Age archers, even having, I guess, a few pikemen to maybe shoo off some camels, but the fact that DauT was not at that fight meant that Viper was stuck taking the fight 1v2, even though he did have the superior army. It's just, yeah, you don't... In my opinion, this map is all about making sure that your Indian player is in the best spot possible. And Viper is just so far behind in terms of military count compared to the Max right now. I feel like it's going to be kind of tricky for Secret here in the near future.
And weirdly enough, also in villagers, right? Weren't we at like 23 of the Max for 35 of the Viper? And suddenly he is ahead by 13?
Just look at the middle of the map. Just look at the middle of the map and see where all the cyan blob is. And that should explain everything.
Oh man.
Max on 5 TCs right now.
What?
Count them up.
Crazy. Yeah. It's not like I don't believe you. What? It's more like this is crazy. What?
It's the Max, man. You boom and you make cavalry units and villagers, and then you throw them at your opponent. It's working out pretty well in this game, as the Max is on just such a massive villager account, getting slung heavily to boot from Rubenstock. TaToH is going to be slinging Viper as well, but I feel like less of a sling commitment, I think, is pretty safe to say, or at least not as much as quickly. So now it's down to DauT to Cav Archer down Indian camels.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What should he go for? Maybe Pikeman Ram push, but that will get just ruffle stomped by Villese as well. So tricky stuff. And now we see the Max on the way to Imp. Secret. They might be losing the series.
If Secret lose this 2-0, like that, I think is going to be just such a massive upset. I mean, remember, guys. There was a bit of a scuffle where Villese's Cav Archers looks like they all got cleaned up by Viper. But as I was saying, the last 3v3 portion of ECL was won by Secret with this exact lineup. So them going out in the first round of Suomi would be a pretty huge deal.
Oh man, and so many people felt like Suomi they are somewhat underperforming. But well, they've really shown that in Battle of Africa how strong they are in 3v3s, and well, DauT is holding on for now, so they are not completely out of it. The Viper is up to Imperial Age as well, but losing a TC here at the front potentially. Let's take a look. Viper's trying to take this engagement.
Yeah, I don't think the Max can commit to attacking the TC right there. Not that many camels coming in from the Viper. I mean, the Indian team bonus, it's nice, but it's not, it doesn't turn your units into, total siege monsters.
Oh, they're getting pretty scary for sure. Let's take a look. What are we seeing? It's basically only eyes on the Max and Viper. They're kind of the game deciders here, and at the moment it's basically 100 builds to 50 builds. The Viper, he has at the moment 2 front TCs, not running at all. He will be stuck at his villager amount. This is... I don't want to call it poor macroing, but, well, he isn't focusing on villager production alone.
That's totally right. I feel like I want to watch this game too back, at least from Viper's POV, and see exactly how he's kind of falling behind. I mean, the Max is doubling his population right now. Like, this is very rapidly approaching, I think, GG levels, in all honesty, because I just don't think there's going to be any way to stop the Max. I mean, DauT compared to Villese, I mean, Villese's still ahead compared to DauT, and it's just like, what advantage does Secret even have right now?
If we take it the resources here, so apparently it's the Viper getting 6k resources and the Max 7.6k, so it's 1.6k more for the Max.
And I think importantly those resources came for the Max earlier than they came for the Viper, which is I think even more important.
Yeah, and it's actually DauT slinging the Viper as well.
Like I said, I feel like the best way to play this map is just throw everything at your Indian player.
Yeah, pop 170 against 80. The Viper, he has no answers to this. He will lose another TC.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, Viper's getting the upgrades, but he's just doing so slower than the Max. And he has a smaller army than the Max. So it's like, what do you even do here? Secret's going out 0-2.
Oh man, let's focus on the game first and then talk about what that means. But, well, look at the numbers. Rubenstock still feudal age, so is TaToH. Rubenstock with some more villagers, not too important. The question is, Villese with all his CA and crossbows, doesn't really make a lot of sense for him to transition into Imp. Maybe might even go for Halberdiers in Imp.
I don't think Halberdiers would be at all a bad decision from Villese. I mean, the Cav Archers don't do a ton against the Indian Camels, which actually are missing the last armor upgrade. I mean, they're missing both Imperial Age Blacksmith upgrades. And yeah, the Max has fully upgraded Imp Camels. And he's got, around 50% larger army. Of course, has the support of Villese. DauT just trying to not die at home fairly unsuccessfully. And
okay, yeah. Big engagement. Sorry for interrupting you. It's 53 military for the Viper, 80 for the Max, and 65 for Villese. This is a big fight here. I think that's something that the Max cannot really take. He has too much army over at the side from DauT. And, well, he is disengaging, lost quite a bit. That has to feel like a win for the Viper, buying his team a bit more time.
I mean, yeah, obviously this is just so much pressure on the Viper right now. Like, he needs to not die, but it's over. And that's going to be the GG. And Secret 0-2, once again. They lost 0-2 in the first round in the 2v2 for Africa, but going out in the first round in the 3v3 in Suomi, I think, really showing their class for the first time in ECL. And I think this is just such a well-played, well-deserved victory for Team Suomi.
Oh man, such a better strategy. The Viper didn't have the sharpest build-up there. We saw it early on. So much later when it came to the Castle Age. I think the strategy was fine, but, well, the Max, he just got so many kills in. The Sling was just so much more efficient by Rubenstock as well. Lovely team play, and oh boy, this Arabia game still gives me goosebumps.
That Arabia game is so good. But, like, still, these two games were, I think, both enjoyable and I think very demonstrative of skill in Age of Empires at the highest level, and how these very small little differences can, totally swing a game so heavily in favor of one team.
Can we just acknowledge Max for a second, and like how he's able to manage his macro and control his army so well, and receive slaying and keep production going, and outclass Viper in both games? That was incredible.
Yeah, I feel like
incredible.
in a situation where you're just trying to put all your resources into one dude who's booming and making a late Imperial Age cavalry unit, TheMax is kind of like the go-to guy for that. It's like that's like his specialty, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really well played by Suomi. That's incredible. A 2-0 victory for them over Secret. That's an upset. It's an upset not because, Suomi are such underdogs, because they're not. They have absolutely got the potential to take games off the best teams in the world, as shown here. But it's an upset because when you look at the standings of the event going into this stage, well, where's Suomi? They're down in 6th with 5 points. Where's Secret? They're 1st with 28. That is, in my opinion, a big upset because not only does that mean Secret will not score points in this series, it's going to give an opportunity for SY, for Frantic, for AM to start climbing up the leaderboards and catching up to Secret and putting a less of a gap between Secret and the rest of the field, as well as giving Suomi some hope and some desire to push hard in the semi-finals where they will face Aftermath and then try and get some more points on the board for themselves as well and level up with the midfield. Really fantastic result for them today. Just going back into the game real quick, so we can look at the stats because I want to show that as well on the stream here. We can see the military stats there with Max killing 108 units, losing just 72, 85 largest army versus Viper's 54. And you guys said it, all eyes on the Indian player. Throw everything at your Indian player. And it just so happened that when we look at the eco stats, Rubenstock threw more at Max than TaToH threw at TheViper. That's kind of important.
Yeah, and like 4 teams now really happy to finally make some points against against Team Secret, and this has to be something that AM wins, or maybe one of the 2 Chinese teams might go very deep. Like they're obviously in the semifinals already. One of them has to be in the finals.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, this is huge for them.
After this event, score will be so much closer when it comes to at least top 3, if not like even top 6.
And that's better, I think, as far as like the long-term overall standings, as far as, teams fighting to go to the grand finals.
Well, look at it this way. If SY made it to the grand finals and won, they would be tied in 1st place with Secret, and Frantic would be just behind them. If Suomi are able to take down Aftermath, that would be disappointing for Aftermath, of course, because if they make it to the finals, if Aftermath make it to the finals, then they have the opportunity to score some big points and start contending for 2nd place again as well. Remember, these guys are or these teams are all playing for the 1st and 2nd position because that will qualify them to the offline grand final where they will be flown in to face each other head to head in real life. And, as Nilly would say, within slapping distance of one another. So awesome games today. Really, really kind of unexpected results in places as well. And I cannot wait. I want to watch the semifinals right now. I want to see the semifinals today, but we can't do that because they're going to be next Saturday at 14 GMT. You can tune in and watch the semifinals next Saturday at 14 GMT. I believe T90 will be casting here instead of myself. And he'll be doing the stream. And I don't know who he's joined by at this point. I could probably find out right now and let you guys know. But thank you, guys for joining in and casting today.
It will be Turk for the semifinals and Mem for the finals.
Well, there you go. So T90 with Turk and T90 with Mem. Next weekend at 14 GMT right here. Guys, thank you very much. Plug yourselves.
Thanks for having me on last minute. It's always a pleasure to cast with you, Nilly. And great games today. If you enjoyed my casting, you can follow me at Ornlu AOV. I stream quite regularly there. And that's about it.
Yeah, and how can I plug myself after those games? I just feels like go watch more Age of Empires, go watch the players. Just feels so much more accurate because it feels like they're the real stars here.
What are you talking
And
about?
what a great series! Like I like.
Go watch me. Go watch me. Nearly
Go watch
AOE.
me
I'm
watch the
awesome.
players.
You know, stroke your ego a little bit.
Come on.
Nearly.
Follow Nilly AOE. Watch the NAC2 qualifiers. Super hype.
Sorry, but no, you've got a good point, Nilly. They were great games. If only Suomi was streaming.
I'm blown away by Suomi. Like that Arabia game. Maybe it was all about Mongols. I will ask the Secret and the Suomi players what they felt was like the key. But I will also rewatch that series for sure.
So there you have it on your screens. SY Frantic next Saturday at 14 GMT, followed by Aftermath and Suomi at 16 GMT. There will be the grand finals at 18 GMT, and that will be the winner of those above series. Guys, thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you follow the stream. Make sure you enter our HTC Vive Pro giveaway. Enjoy all the free subs which we handed out. We've got some amazing stuff coming up, and we want you guys to be part of it. So stick around. There'll be a lot of exciting things coming up in the next 2 months, and I cannot wait to share that with you. But I'm going to do my normal thing of basically just saying nothing.
Announcing announcements.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, man. Typical.
You got it. You got it. We're going to throw a host out to someone, I think. I don't know who. Who's streaming right now? Who can we host? I don't know if T90 is carrying on his stream.
I'd be surprised.
We'll check it to Memb. He always streams. So
well, he casted all this. I asked him. I think all the ECL casters might be stopping this, but
I just assumed Memb would carry on.
well, just ask him maybe.
Yeah, well, I will.
Normally, it's the time when MBL comes online to grab the escape host, right? Let's see. Is he somewhere around with like 5 viewers or something? That's normally his streaming starting time. No, okay.
Hold on. We'll see. We'll check it out somewhere, but yeah, T90's ending. Looks like Memb is ending, so maybe we'll check it to spring. There's a lot of people saying spring in the chat, so we can do that. For fellow Heresy teammate, why didn't you suggest spring? Maybe we need to look into this. Is Heresy falling apart? Why is Nilly not supporting his teammates here?
Crap, I need to go open AoE zone right now.
Make a thread. We'll see you on AoE zone, and we'll see you next Saturday at 14 GMT.
If you miss it, you are not clever.
There you go. Fun ending to the stream.
That was fun.
If you miss it, you're not clever.
I didn't want to call them dumb.
You're too kind.
I mean, I wouldn't want to call like the general escape people dumb, but I'd definitely call my stream viewers dumb. I think I've done it many times.
Y'all stupid, yo.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, was great. See you all around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pleasure as
Thank
always,
you.
guys.
Chat to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, this was it from me as well. I will keep this VOD running for 1.5 hours so that, yeah, you will not be spoiled in the results. So go away, go watch another of my videos, maybe rewatch another series or whatever. I think I will try to upload this quite quickly, and yeah, maybe actually I could. Let's take a look. Is Stark maybe still playing against Horrible? Then he might just see me trash talking about him. Didn't they start an hour ago? 1.5 hours? Oh, so Memb is doing community games. That's weird. Let me check. Did they? Tournament lobby. Are they playing in here? No. Colombia versus Denmark. Sounds exciting. I'm confused. Did they not play? Check AoE zone. They were supposed to start half an hour ago. No, 1.5 hours ago. I didn't say anything there. Let me go onto Stark's profile. Maybe he played those games already. It's really great content for YouTube at the moment. It's funny if someone just jumped into that area and sees like, how is this guy getting 30 upvotes for this video? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Okay, Stark. Is it VNA or BZK Stark? He has 2 accounts there. Interesting. Cannot really listen to music as well because I don't want to mute it. Okay, he won 3-0 apparently. Let's take a look. Japanese against Ethiopians. 16-minute games. Gold Rush, 1-minute game. So that's a restart. And yeah, that's a 3-0. I think I won't cast those games anyway, so let's just update the qualifiers here. And that's qualifier number 2. No big surprise. Can we already make some schedulings? No. I might just mute everything to the end. I think he's dead, honestly. Dead, honestly. He can, I think I'd probably wall behind there. I think you can never hold the walls in front. Maybe sneak 2 villagers out at the top, try to get those on stone to maybe do some more towers.
Oh!
And then
Look at Viper's stuff.
the comeback is still possible.
To be honest, like that tower, that's Viper.
Oh. Said Viper, DauT would losing the game, and someone's quoting me. When DauT actually won the game. How bad of me. Okay guys, I will mute everything. You can take a look at my face if you want to. Not sure if that's too enjoyable. And I will end the VOD in 18 minutes.